All right. Well. You already know what time it is. Herb Lewis and I, David Lorenzo Glover, is back for another discussion with hopes that others will be joining us tonight. Last week, we had four women on the panel to discuss virtual dating. We had Srea, she's a regular. Saveda joined us, Marcia, and Anita. So, what a great show and had great dialogue, great perspective. So, I really enjoyed that. Tonight, we're going to look at attractiveness in women, the easy way out. And I know y'all probably wonder, what the hell do they mean, the easy way out? Um, so, oh boy, another potential good one. So, now let's take a look at the other five essential talking points. Number one, many guys look at women's previous mates, and if he was not about nothing, she may be viewed as nothing worthy of dating. And I know people probably say, what the hell? People past is their past, but we can't help some people. That's how they form their opinions or judgments on your past. Sexual exploitation, who is hurt. Number three, trauma response and trauma informed care. And we'll push that toward the back end if we get into that. Number four, why do people support things that are counterproductive? And number five, if you show someone what's in the package before you're ready to give it to them, why wouldn't they want it now? Duh. You show somebody like, oh, this is what you could potentially have, they're going to want it now. They're not going to want it later. I don't care what kind of package it is, whether it's a physical package or a gift for Christmas. If they know they got it, they're going to want it now. So finally, you definitely want to stay put for the Can You Solve Herb's Riddle for the $40 Cash App stimulus package. Thanks to last week's winner, Greg Hopper, for donating his winnings to this week's pot, which meant Tina Hauser remains the champ. So hopefully she'll be tuning in to defend her title. And question is, will Greg win again, or will Tina hold on to her title? And let's not forget Amy, who is itching to regain her title after holding it for not once, not twice, not three times, not even four times, 5 consecutive weeks. So we got a jam-packed essential talking points. So we look forward to delivering this information, and we're going to get at it. What's going on, Herb? How you doing, man?
Man, just another Monday, but y'all can see I'm a little dressed down tonight, wearing my T-shirt of my organization, Western New York Rules, the elite basketball family. So, keep an eye out for us. We're gonna be doing some fundraising coming up in the next year. Hopefully, COVID doesn't do too much damage to those plans like it did last year. And everything is pretty much everything. We're gonna move this ball up the field till we get it across the goal line, and then we're gonna line up and we're gonna try and stop our opponents from doing the same thing, man.
All right. All right. So we got T. Lee. Thanks for joining us. Ebony Swanson. Hey, how you doing? Good. Thanks for joining us. Good evening. Hey, Saveda. Thanks for joining us in the actual broadcast. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing well, King. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine.
All
But
right.
I do got some things that I got to get off my chest. So, and this kind of is going to lead into one of our talking points. So, y'all know me. If you follow my post, I have 10 core subject matters that I usually create my post around. And it's either relationships, friendships, family, work, education, health, loyalty, mistrust, child drama, or the dating game. Usually it's in those areas. Once in a while, I'll throw sports in there as a motivating factor or something to kind of deal with leadership. Because I think ultimately, whatever, some of those coaches and things like that are the greatest leaders that sometimes we look at educators and stuff like that, but sometimes I think actual coaches and stuff like that, they're even greater leaders than educators. But essentially, they're educating too. So I made a post. Now, if you know me, I'm gonna throw some eye candy out there here and there, little eye candy, because also I learned in one of my graduate classes they were like it's, and this was years ago. He said it's over with for those PowerPoints and stuff like that with all the bullets, flashing stuff on the screens. That does not do anything for anybody's attention. It's about the images. So what better images to post sometime than a beautiful woman? And we know how today is set up, like the clothes that they make, that everything is tight fitting, low cut. Hell, you see it at the school level, middle school, high school, and all of this stuff. Like, you can't run away from this. It's all over social media. But one of my regulars decided that, oh, David was over. She's noticing that I'm over sexualizing things, whatever. She's so tired of the post, whatever, with the women and all that. And I'm like, really? Probably if you go through and look at 40, 50 stats that I might post, like I said, I might throw some eye candy out there a couple times. But for her, Dr. McNabb, you got it, Dr. McNabb. I don't got to call out your whole government, but people, if you're not stupid, you'll know who it is if you read the names that come through here. Decided to take that approach. Then we kind of went back and forth. So now I'm like, man, like, what is going on? Because I know in Counseling 101, usually if their response is not warranted to what you put out there, it's usually a deeper root cause to what's going on. So I'm thinking like, man, me and her got this type of relationship that we talked, that she could have inboxed me and said, David, what's up with these women with the titties popping out, the tight dresses, tight skirts on, and I would have told her. But no, she wanted to go on the actual thread. So, which led me going back and forth. Then I go look on her page because I had asked her a question, and I'm going to wrap this up in a minute. I don't mean, I don't usually go on this long, but when something is, kind of piss me off, I'm going to talk about it. So when I go on her page, I see a stat that says, I'm so tired of you women out here with your titties and ass hanging out everywhere. What happens pretty much when that dies down and you get older, pretty much get you a certificate or a degree or something, because your, body assets is not going to be able to get you any place. So I tagged that in the thread and said, hey, where do you see these people at? Because she said she don't see it on her page, because all her page is people that's respectful. She's conscientious of people that post stuff on her page that comes across her timeline. First thing, you have no control over what pops up on your timeline. You don't, unless you eventually end up deleting them or muting them. So I'm like, and we're in the middle of a pandemic. So I know you ain't out and about and seeing all of this. So where are you seeing this stuff at? Then it comes to find out that the material, the clothing that she likes, she's liking them. You know how, like for me, I like hats. So on my page, all types of hat companies come up. And so I'm sure, I don't know what she put in, but the one that I seen, chick had on a low dress, cleavage every place. And guess who likes it? Dr. McNabb liking that. But you coming for me. Listen, anybody who has any problem with what I'm doing, you've got free will to inbox me. Some of you know my phone number or whatever the case. Hit me up. There's no need to go back and forth on that, especially if we, kind of got a relationship that we talk back and forth. So that's all I'm saying. But Dr. McNabb, I never known a doctor to run. I never known a doctor with somebody with a PhD or potential PhD to run from any debate. Not in my time, whatever. So you got to tighten that up, sister. Got to tighten it up, because this ain't going to be the first where someone going to challenge you on your thoughts or whatever. And just because you're a doctor don't mean your word is bond. There's going to be people that's going to challenge you. So wherever you at, Dr. McNabb, may you rest in peace, or whatever the case may be. Come out from hiding. I want to have this conversation with you. Let's finish this off. Because other than that, that's cowardly like. Hey, Chrissy Pooh, how you doing? All right, I'm done. I'm done for a while. I'm quiet now. What's good? Go ahead, Herb.
Actually, I'm gonna throw this one to Srea, because she's a female, and I can only speak from a male's perspective in terms of the manner of dress that women do. Now, there's a myriad of reasons why women dress the way they do, and they say it's for this reason and not this reason. So I can't be a residential expert on something that I believe is a female thing. So Srea, in terms of clothing, that seems to be a little bit more revealing. What is your stance in regards to how women approach dressing in today's society?
But you mean Saveda?
You asked.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
Anita.
you asking
I'm
me?
sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You
Saveda.
said, yeah.
I'm like,
My
okay,
apologies.
okay. You're asking me. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to say it is overrated. Um, First of all, I'm old school and 37 years old, and I believe in basically, keeping yourself covered. Why expose yourself, to a man? You don't have to show your body, to get a man's attention. And so that means if you have to be showing yourselves, that means that there's something deeply rooted that's going on inside that's kind of neglected going on. That is my opinion and my view, because I know for myself, I have a daughter, and I just had this conversation earlier that, and she's 25 right now. And I know for myself, she never saw me dressing, provocative. She never saw me dressing, loosely. And so one day I remember she was probably about 16 years old, and she went to the mall, her and my little cousin. And when she came back, I did, a bag, inspection, because I want to see what you got. And so she was, I'm pulling out the clothes and I'm looking and I'm look, this is cute, and this is cute. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute, what the heck is this? And she was like, oh, my shorts. This is when Daisy Dukes came out. And I asked her where she was going with those. And she was like, outside. I said, absolutely not. You're not leaving out my house with those on. The simple fact is that here it is. If you've never saw me wearing, shorts up, my butt and showing my butt, I'm not gonna allow you, because first of all, I'm a lady and that's how I carry myself. And so that means that's how I'm bringing, you up as well as a lady. And so I look at it like this, that the more that you show a man, because it's appealing to his eye, that's going to be the first thing that he sees. And so you can have, all the beauty and all the brains, but guess what? If he's looking at you, then he's looking at you as maybe easy. And most men, that's what most women will end up attracting, is what they call, a dog, someone that just don't care. Um, and, so
Oh,
for me,
oh,
I'm like, hey, you know, the more you keep covered, it gives that man, something to, to give his imagination, hey, what's behind there, instead of saying, hey, you know what? I done seen it, been there, and then everybody else done seen it too. So, basically I like I said, I'm old school, and you don't have to show yourself, you can have a whole conversation by using this here. You don't have to show body. That's my opinion.
all right. Now, I wanted to say, you said with, with a great deal of the guys, and you view them as dogs, but does that make all of them dogs? Because hey, if you can see it, and hey, the physical attraction is the first attraction, you gonna look.
Right.
You gonna look. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
given.
I mean,
Now, what you do with that information is different. Some guys may just look and say, "Damn, that's nice right there," and let it be. But it may be some
right.
guys, they act on it, they salivate in, and they like can't help it. They get in your personal space. Some of them
Mm-hmm.
may even get to the point touching, groping, and all that stuff. Now that's a whole different ball game. But some
Right.
guys are like, "Damn,
Right.
that right there that's the real deal," and just keep it moving.
Yeah.
And I
That's
know
when,
Herb, you was gonna say
now
something. No, go ahead, Savita. Go ahead.
that's when that's I also say that's when it gets kind of ugly, when um when you got to start fondling and touching, because you didn't saw something that looks appealing and looks enticing to you. And so I know, uh that's now you're crossing the line, because now you might not see, a sister that is gonna be so nice, So, but yeah, you got to keep that to the imagination, and also, you know, when you said in regards to, you know, men looking, because I know for myself, and I'm a woman, and ain't nothing gay about me at all. And when I see sisters, walking around, and even young girls, like half dressed, and I'll take a double look, and I'll be like, what and some things just ain't, you just don't do. But each to his own, and hey, some like it, and all I can do is talk about myself. And
All
just
right, all right.
encourage encourage the system, them, hey, cover up, because at the end of the day, it's all about your mindset, and then what you attracting. What do you want to attract?
And
All right, Herb, go ahead, Herb.
to follow up what Saveda said, Marilyn Monroe is quoted as saying that a female should wear her clothes tight enough to show she's a woman and loose enough to reveal that she's a lady. Now, I'm not a huge proponent of Marilyn Monroe in terms of what she's done with her life, but that's her life and she lived it how she wanted to. But I will add her sentiments. I'm a man that looks for a certain type of dress in a manner with a female. So if I see something that looks good, the first thing I'm looking at is what is she wearing, and more importantly, how is she wearing it? Because I can take two women and put both of them in a pencil skirt. One could look very classy, and the other one could look very trashy. And I think that's what a lot of women have been misled to believe, that men are desiring. Yes, men like women desire somebody that looks physically appealing to them. I don't think that's up for discussion. But the question becomes, and it's like Saveda said, or I'm sorry, like David said, what are you going to do when you get that information? And this is part of what I was talking about last week when I said either put sex on the table or take it off the table, because this is what you are doing in reality. If you dress a certain way, you are promoting that you are some sexually promiscuous and that you are available for that purpose. Now, I know I'm going to get some pushback with that statement, but I'll ask you, why is it that nuns are very seldomly targeted for sex? That's not what this style of dress promotes. That's not what the culture suggests. We have gotten so awash in modern culture to the point where hip hop, R&B, and I really can't speak to rock, country, and jazz. They have put sex out there as if it's breathing and eating. And I'm be the first to tell you that it shouldn't be. That should be something that you do with somebody because you want that person and you decide that aspect of that person. Now, whether a child comes with that union or not is another topic. But people, I always tell people, hey, look, I understand when you're young, you want to get out there in the world, you want to explore some things, you want to engage in this, you want to engage in that, and that's fine. Sexual maturity comes for some with experiences, and some of those experiences aren't always good. You end up being caught up in a statutory rape case, or worse yet, you're being abducted and raped, not even statutory rape. And as a guy or female, no matter what, it never leaves you the same. And I've told the story before about when I almost took advantage of a female. That changed my whole latitude on a lot of things. So I tell people, be careful of what you are advertising, because you don't know who could take it the wrong way, and you don't know what they might do. Now, that's not to suggest that every guy is going to engage in something nefarious or is going to do you harm, but you could be turning off a potential mate who could actually be what you're looking for. So it's just one of those things you have to be cognizant of, especially as a woman in today's society, because you're getting so many mixed messages. You're being bombarded by print media, by what's on TV, what's, like David said, what's in your schools, your peer group, and everything else. So you have to be able to stand in that hurricane and find it out and be comfortable with not being out there.
Which reminds me of it makes me think, like, sometimes guys meet women that when they met them, they came, had the cleavage showing, tight items, and then you become an item, a couple, then all of a sudden, do you change it up and tell them, oh, you can't wear that shit out like that no more, but they've been wearing it like during the dating process, that's what they wore and you didn't mind it, but now that she's yours and y'all in a committed relationship, do you change up the game? And I had made a post that a lot of guys, I think it's a lot of guys, many guys, like for their women to be looked at by other men. They get a rise out of that, and it makes them want their woman more. So it depends. You have some guys that's comfortable, like, hey, my baby got it. She can flaunt it. She with me. You see, I'm holding her hands and she up under my arms, and I know y'all looking, but I'm secure with mine. Or you have some guys that can't handle with you turn your head around and you got guys like, God damn, or whatever. So it depends on the individual as well as far as that. So it's a lot behind it. Dietrich said, if you're wearing a police uniform, will they think you're a police?
But I was going to say, it still matters, even when like just going out in public and stuff like that. And however that man saw that woman and whatever caught his attention, I don't think those things should, like change. But as far as, the dressing and all of that stuff, once again, my opinion, like if I go out, like I dress, I dress nice and I dress for myself, but I know also that when I go out, I'm dressing also because me and my dude, we gonna compliment one another at the end of the day. And so, but I still keep it classy. There's still a way that you can keep it classy where you ain't got to be dressing, all hoochie like that's just,
But on another thing, are they make? I mean, I know they have clothing items that you can cover up, but a great deal of the clothes, and I think Amy has said some of the clothes that reveal something is cute. Uh, do they? How many clothes are they making that's really cute in style, and that you still have a little confidence, like, okay, what I'm wearing is in compared to other stuff? I'm just wondering.
well,
I
you
don't
have
look for
to.
women clothes, but I'm just saying.
I mean, there's plenty of places out there, and each to his own. And it's just like if you go to any store, some people might like Macy's, but you can go to Macy's, and there's a certain side on Macy's that there is certain styles and stuff like that. So it just depends on the person's taste. And there's like I can open up my closet right now and I got nice stuff in my closet. It's not, it ain't hoochie like it is not, you know what I mean? It's not, it just ain't, like I said, it depends on where you want to shop at. You can shop at the same store, you know what I mean? And you can still, it's all about looking and finding what it is that you like, and it's all about a person's taste and preference. And so as far as myself, you know if you're going to be dating, it's all about communicating and asking what it is that person, he or she, likes and what they don't like, you know what I mean?
Okay,
And
so if, hypothetically speaking, Savita, so what if your man tells you, baby, I want you to throw in a little something tonight that show a little something. That's what I want to see tonight. We going out to this dance. That's what I want to see. I want you to throw a little some low cut shirt or some little cleavage, a little tight, hip, hip, hip showing dress or something. What you gonna say?
okay, but like I said, it depends on, first of all, how low of a cleavage you talking about, because I'm not going out looking like no hoe. And because if that's what you're looking for, then that's the wrong, then that's the, you know then go on about your business, because I ain't the right sister. But now, if you talk about, okay, looking a little nice and you know what I mean, little cleavage, you ain't got to be showing everything. You know what I mean? It's just like I said, it's you have to have some moderation and just some dignity about yourself. and
All right.
respect.
So we got a new. Hey, Swana, how you doing? Thanks for joining us.
Hi, how are
Hey,
you?
Queen.
How you doing? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
we hear
we
you.
Yes.
So we gonna give. I know you're just coming on, so we gonna put you on the spot. Anything you heard or you want to address that you want to speak on right now?
Today I'm actually just listening.
Wow, I find that hard to believe. You must
Oh,
got the
she gonna have to. No,
you
she
must
gonna
got the
come.
meat something.
No, she coming in. She gonna speak. She gonna share her thoughts.
I
Somebody
mean,
just said in the chat, hold on, Kim said you can show a little and be classy, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Now, Swanda, you were gonna say something?
you can wear whatever you want whenever you want.
That too.
Okay.
Except for I think that, like these younger people, they have things that aren't really clothes. So I'm not saying we should go there. That sheer stuff with that, those aren't clothes.
Well, the thing about that is this: how do you actually get the message to women? And the reason why I say women is because women drive a lot of this, and this is one of the talking points about why would you support things that are counterproductive. If women want to be treated as if they're valuable, and I'm not saying they're not, regardless of the way that they dress. If you want to be treated as valuable, then you have to present yourself in a form that conveys value to other people. And I'll use the Fort Knox reference. The original Constitution, because of the value of it, is placed in an inert container, which keeps the paper from degrading further than what it is, and it's mechanically raised and lowered. That piece of parchment is treated as if there is nothing else like it in the world. And I think that's a mentality that has to be understood, learned, and taught by mothers, brothers, fathers, aunts, and uncles. And I don't know how easy that is, especially given the culture that we live in nowadays. Like I said, everything is out there, in your face. You have to do this to get this. And I'll be the first to tell you that that's wrong. And I see a woman that's dressed like that. I'm like, I don't even want to be bothered with it because there's nothing there for me. And I'm just like, yeah, she has a great body, but I've seen it. Now, the question becomes, how many other men have seen it? And when women are supporting this to the tune of going out and buying this stuff, then it leaves a man like me to ask the question, well, what is it that you really want? Do you want to be seen as a woman who's confident in what she brings to the table? Or do you want me to see a woman who only brings to the table what she's showing?
I think that you are talking more on the exception than the norm. Like women don't dress like that all the time. Even strippers cover up Monday through Friday during the daytime. So I think that when you're saying that women should you should cover up and treat it like it's parchment and these other things, that's not the norm to walk around that way. I think that, there's celebrity images or these images of strippers or whatever other thing, but for the most part, women cover up. And
What
if you're not meeting women who are covering up, then you're in the wrong places.
what age range are you speaking about?
That's all age ranges.
I'm going to tell you that you need to view the spectrum of the entire age demographic. Just like David said, I volunteered mentor in a middle school. I've seen females wear clothing that is so tight that they can't put their hands in their pockets. And trust me, I'm not targeting women for that. I'm just telling you what I see. I coach.
Sometimes those clothes get tight because that's what they have. And they weren't able to buy something else. And they gained weight over the winter. I'm like, but
It could
you're
be
saying
multiple
tight a
reasons.
moment
Yeah.
ago they weren't covered. You gotta be real with it to say, oh, if they're in middle school, their jeans are tight. Maybe their mama didn't have no money to buy
Right.
them new
That's a
pants.
possibility. That's
And
a
I know this
possibility.
because I've been working with teenagers too long to
It's a
know how it goes.
possibility.
They gain, especially girls. Girls gain weight, and that's it. They don't went up 2 sizes. So
Now,
when you're talking about how their pants are tight, it could be because their parents couldn't buy them no new pants.
Okay,
now, when you say that, and it's the first couple of days of school, and you know that those clothes are brand new,
right.
that's something different. And a lot of times, people, guys and stuff, they don't. When the girls wear that stuff like that, they say, okay, you need to go talk to I want you to talk to a female staff. I don't feel comfortable saying it. Like some of the girls I have relationships with, they come in my office on a regular basis, and they look at me as an uncle, father figure. So if they come in, and I might say something. If I look up on my computer, like, the hell you got on? Like, did anybody see you with that on? Yeah, Mr. Glover, and nobody said anything. Like, okay. I'm like, and sooner or later, somebody's going to say something. You might want to go put on your gym shorts or something like that, or whatever the case is. But not everybody feels comfortable with that. But it is, some of the kids do have stuff that they not able to replenish and get new stuff. But sometimes that stuff is brought brand new. Hold on. And another point.
I'm the first to admit, I'm from Harlem. I like my jeans tight. My daughter wear her jeans tight too. It is what it is. But those are jeans.
So wait a minute. So now we go from it is what it is, or we go from clothes being
we covered.
We're
covered.
But that's what we're talking about. If you feel, and I know it's 9:30, I'll put the riddle in a moment. Just want to finish this point. If women do not want to be objectified, then the one thing that would help is not wearing clothing that helps in the objectification of yourself. That's all we're saying. We're not saying you can't, but we're not saying women, as Amy said, we're not saying women don't dress for themselves, but the end consumer of the way you dress isn't other women, unless you're bisexual or gay. It's men.
No, I dress because that's what I like. My clothes, I bought them for me.
So when y'all say that, I know y'all gonna say that. I don't buy clothes for men, but you have to. It has to be something that inspires you to say, "Okay, I'm going here. Hopefully, I'm single. Hopefully, it's some single guys here. I think this will look nice." I just don't buy into like this. All about me. I'm getting dressed, and you don't care what a man
I don't
thinks.
do that anymore. That was in my 20s.
Oh well, but see, that's why I about age demographic.
And I still think 40 and 50 and 60-year-olds do that. I still think they do it like, oh, I'm going here.
No, I mean, if I
want to make
put
sure I
on a
look
blouse,
good.
all the clothes I buy, they're mine, and I wear them because I want them, because they're mine, and I feel like wearing blue, or I feel like showing, like shelving the girls, or I might feel like I want to do some cleavage, or I like how this sweater looks. It makes me feel a little bit more sexy. But I don't wear none of that stuff because I'm thinking about what anybody is looking at. They're mine to me.
Sure.
Like I might wear a short skirt one day or show my legs, and I'm like, oh, I think this looks good. Or I'll wear my wedges because I like my wedges. Anything I wear, I'm wearing them because that's the mood that I'm in. I'm about to be 50 in a couple of days. I couldn't care less what nobody thinks.
So if it was a man that you were interested in, you wouldn't throw some like, I want to get his attention a little more. I want to get his.
I was just gonna say.
I wear this,
you want to know what? Actually, like I have a rule. Like when you go out on a date and it's like early on when you're dating a man, I kind of advise to wear a dress or a skirt. The reason being is that's the difference between, kind of presenting a more feminine, a more feminine angle to yourself. Man, woman. I'm pretty old fashioned in a lot of different ways, but whether or not I'm gonna be dropping out of my dress on a first date, or I would think that somebody's supposed to be showing a boob or throw up a thigh high slit. No, I don't think that's appropriate. Like they have a lot of those things where they're like, well, which one would you wear? None of them. It looks skanky. You're supposed to look respectable when you first go out with someone.
Oh, so Swan Carlos said,
if your guy likes to have his woman on showcase and he bought the dress, then I'm gonna wear whatever he bought. If he bought it. And it's respectable enough to me if I feel comfortable in it.
Well, Carlos said he thought he taught you better that during the AASO meetings.
No, he didn't. And tell Carlos he remember full well how we dressed in Buffalo. I was always covered.
Well, let's see. Are they guessing? And I don't know the answer to the riddle, so you got to wait from Herb to come back. But y'all definitely saying some interesting points. Herb, could you read the riddle? I know
Yes.
you put it in the thing.
You can eat off this, but it might be covered in dirt, made of glass or porcelain.
What, a plate?
Bingo! Yep. That is it. Okay, hold on. Wait. Yeah, Amy got it. Amy was the first to post it in there. That's correct.
What is it, a plate?
Yes. Baseball. Home
said-
plate. No, Amy, as well,
I said
let me put
plate.
you. I stepped away. I out because
Wait. I see Amy said pot. I see Tina said plate. Then Amy said China. Then we got pottery. I don't know. Did Amy win or did Tina win?
I under what I see here, I see Amy's response first.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah. You got it.
So a whole plate sometimes gets covered with dirt. Players will slide in there and they have to cover it off. And of course, a plate is something keeping you covered, made of porcelain and glass, china or porcelain china. So yes, it is official.
Well, Amy's back. She's back again. Her sixth time winning, so she reclaimed her title. Congratulations, Amy. I know you've been miserable these last couple weeks without that title thrown, but it's rightfully yours again. And I don't literally mean you were miserable, but that's just, I'm being facetious. All right, let's move on to another point, or do we still want to talk about the lack of clothing that some women wear?
Anita's trying to get in, David.
Okay, I see it at the bottom. All right, hold on. All right. Hey, Anita, how you doing? Sorry for keeping you waiting.
Yeah, I don't like to wait. I don't have patience.
Yeah. A lot of women don't, but that's a whole nother talking point.
Men are more impatient.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true that too. True. All right, Herb. Any other thing you? What else? What else is good that you want to tackle?
Well, actually, let's well, actually, these kind of are really they really run together. But let's talk about the sexual exploitation and who it hurts. Now, when I thought about this, I actually was thinking about the dating apps and the ways to meet people. But I think a lot of people really don't understand what all encompasses sexual exploitation. Now, I think when we hear the term sexual exploitation, we think of the actual act. And I want to expand on that. Sexual exploitation can be anything that uses the illusion of sex to lure somebody into doing something they otherwise wouldn't do if they knew the end result was not going to be sex. And we see this now with a lot of these websites popping up, especially OnlyFans, that are being used by celebrities and rank and file people to sell the illusion of sex for money. And it's just not men and it's just not women who are being targeted. And the end result is getting something really for quote unquote nothing. And I know Srea always says that there's no robbery if it's a fair exchange, but where's the fair exchange if one individual is not really getting what they thought they were supposed to receive?
But that's that's
you
not even just like entertainers or anything. I mean, those is just regular. Some of them is just regular people. They got fans only pages, and you'll see a lot of that stuff on Instagram. I mean, you stroll through there, you're like, man, this is freaking back in the days Playboy channel or something strolling through IG. It's out of control. Some people use it for the right thing, the marketing, but a lot of stuff, a lot of times these people are just marketing shit, their assets.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
And how is that different than wanting to be a stripper and getting your bills paid?
I'm not
If
speaking
I
of
want to,
I'm not speaking on the morality of it. For me, the morality is a whole different topic. I'm just simply addressing the exploitation. Because if you go to a strip club, there's a set standard of rules and behavior that governs the interaction there. And if you don't adhere to those, then you're removed. With online exploitation such as this, there are really no rules. So a female, a guy can sit up there butt naked telling you, yeah, if you give me $100, I'll meet you here. Next thing you know, you give them $100 and they never show up. That's the exploitation.
Sexual exploitation of females is not new. And then, for you to present it as if it's on OnlyFans that somebody is being victimized because they've spent their money on somebody's page. Like, yeah, I'm having a hard time with this topic because I believe that, there's a hypersexualization of African American girls in this country. And then, to put it out there as if they're victimizing the people who are putting forth money for whatever the thing is. It's lopsided. It's always been lopsided. So when she said something about strippers, how is it any different? Some people are just trying to like buy a sandwich, put some food in their fridge, keep the lights on. So, when you're talking about something that people are doing trying to make money, that's not sex. Sex is like the oldest profession that there ever was.
Fair enough.
It's in the Bible.
It's been going
chapter
on for
in
a long
Genesis, they
time.
talk about prostitution.
It's been going
in Genesis,
on, yeah.
in book 1. So it's not new.
Yeah.
So to say that it took another form, it's just another form of the same existing thing. There were always harems. Harems were basically women that were there to have sex. Have sex with the pharaohs, have sex with the generals, have sex with the soldiers, have sex with other people that came on through, have sex with the sons, have sex with any visitors.
Anything,
This is not new. It's not new.
So
it's
why
just yet another form of something that's historically prominent is the victimization of women and the sexualization of women through many different cultures, through many different times. So, it's kind of like to put it out there, like now we have OnlyFans. I've never even looked at it, but I'm like, I don't see why I would. I think it's just more of the same. Like Facebook was OnlyFans and it was free.
So why does that shock you? If we know this has been around for since beginning of time, why does anything shock anyone at this point in time?
There's no shock to it.
It's not a shock.
There's no shock. We all sat there with the same expression. All three of us females had our face like, because it's not new, right?
It's nothing new up underneath
Is it new? No, it's not new.
It's not. It's new to us because we're just being exposed to it because it's a new time and a new era.
But it's a different format of the same old.
But it's been it's been here.
So even in the Bible. So even in the Bible, if they went for theirs, why you don't think men gonna go for theirs now?
Oh, again, harem was just basically you were a harem, or you could have just been, like your parents would have sold you to somebody anyway for 4 daggone cows. It's just a means. It was a means to an end. It's not new. Yeah. Like women have been, they have been objectified. They were property. Yeah. Even in China, they still just send you off. It's a trade. A lot of cultures is still a trade.
It's a trade.
They trade their daughters.
Yep. Have you seen harlots?
No.
Okay, this is something that I'm gonna actually introduce to Sisters with a Vision, and it talks about stuff like what we're talking about now, and it's like wow, and this has been going on, like she said, with the kings, the pharaohs, and different ones, since the beginning of time.
All
But the
cultures,
thing is, yeah,
cross cultures, cross seas,
all
different continents.
everything, and
Hold
and the sad
Let
part
me jump
is
in for a
that they, when they talk about it in the church, they really don't go into depths, and but it's out here, it's real, and people don't talk about it. It's like,
Let me jump in here for a hot second. I want to clarify something. I did not say victimization. I said exploitation. And I wanted to make that clear because
I
nobody's.
want you to realize that exploitation and
Hold
victimization go hand in hand. And
hold
it's
on.
the females that are exploited and victimized.
on.
Okay.
When you freely give up something, you can't be a victim. That's the difference. So I'm not saying that men are victims because they're out here doing for these women. I'm just saying the exploitation of that. A man that goes to
So
patronizes a
Wait a
prostitute.
minute. You're saying the men
but you
are being
can be.
exploited?
I said,
I'm confused.
who does it hurt?
Well, first
Might
of
hurt
all,
the man. Might
Who
hurt the
does
man's
what hurt?
pockets. It might hurt the man's
Right.
pocket if
Okay,
they
so
get addicted.
if a man's willing to pay for it, then that ain't my fault.
I'm
Like
not
if I make an OnlyFans page, right? And okay, for example, there's guys that have foot fetishes. So if I'm taking pictures of my feet and videos of my feet, and a guy wants to pay for it, is that hurting somebody?
Sick
No.
bastard.
No.
That's what that is. Whatever.
I'm,
Paying
I'm,
to see somebody's feet.
I put it to you like this. Let's say
Hey,
you
there's guys that want some feet pics, some cute feet pics, not some old curled up, ratchety raccoon looking feet.
I
let me
got
put,
shoes bought for me when I was a teenager because he liked the size of my feet. So that's not even a new thing.
Yeah.
And he was
So
a
if
young
you
guy. He
got
wasn't
it,
old. He was like, I like how small your feet are. I'm going to buy you some shoes. And he bought me some shoes.
so
all right, let
if
me,
you got
Where's
it
the
and you want to use
exploitation in
it to your advantage,
So hold on.
I
Dietrich
don't see a
says, so why
problem.
do women get mad when their man got a few women?
What?
Now see, that there
That's a whole different
is
story.
right, because I was gonna
Yeah,
say that.
Because I
that's a
want my
different
man out to
topic.
myself.
Yeah, that's that. I was gonna say that's that's a whole different
Oh,
story, a whole different
y'all know
topic.
I was
Oh,
y'all know that I was
oh
oh,
shit.
y'all know that I
Oh
was texting.
shit.
I was texting. And oh, y'all know I was texting. That's why I was texting you. Oh my fucking God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Herbert, I need you to say again. You just say that nothing that's given freely can be exploited. Is that what you said?
no. What I'm saying
Then
is,
repeat what you said, because that is what you said, but you repeat what you think you said.
listen,
Repeat it.
I said the difference between being a victim. Hold
I
on.
was very specific.
You were very.
You made a comment where you said that nothing that is given for free can be. Ladies, am I the only one that heard that? Nothing
I heard
that
a lot.
No, you're right.
Context did you hear?
exploited. That is what you said.
What context did you hear that in?
Oh, I've heard the whole thing, dude. I've been right here. That's why I was doing this when you saw me coming in. You said that nothing that is given for free can be exploited. That's just not a true statement.
In what context did you hear that coming in? I'll ask the question again.
I heard what you said. I heard what you said. I've been here for 10 minutes, dude. What you mean? I've been here for 10 minutes.
So if you were here for 10 minutes and
behind the scenes where only Dave could see me going crazy, like trying to get in. I know he's like, oh my God.
No, I didn't see it until I read the chat. My bad, Srea. My bad. I only seen it when I read the chat and you was trying to get in.
God.
I said the difference between being a victim and being exploited is that you are not a victim if you give us something of free will. That's why I asked the question. I qualify my statements. You can't catch me out there like that. You got to
you backpedal on that statement.
I know that's what I said.
That's what you just did. You backpedaled on that statement because I told you I've been sitting here for 10 minutes. You didn't say that. You said that nothing that's given for free can be taken, be exploited, and that's not a true statement. That's not a true statement. It's just
we will find out. We will find out later. This is recorded.
There are women that are giving of themselves freely, that are exploited every day. So that's not a true statement that you made. And that's where I'm at. It's just that we can't have a real conversation if we're not making true statements. And it can't be true in one instance, but true in the other. That doesn't exist. It's absolutely possible for something that's given freely to be taken advantage of, to be exploited, all of that. Whether she's on an OnlyFans page, whether she's twirling that pussy around a pole, no matter what it is that she's doing, a person, and we're not even going to say a woman, is anybody, because men can be exploited when they give of themselves freely. So no, it's just not a true statement that you made. And when you throw things like that in there, it throws the whole conversation off. Because that's kind of I love you to death, Herb. So I'm not comparing you with my next statement. But that's kind of like what the devil does. He'll put a certain spin on some shit and have you believing that shit is true. It's just not. The devil is a liar by omission. And so there's some things when you make a statement like that, if you don't carry, a lot of people stop at the commas. They start a sentence at a comma. They start a sentence at and stop the sentence at a comma. It's something before and after that. So for that part, everything that you might have been saying before might have been completely true, but you threw it off with that one statement that nothing is given freely can be exploited. Yeah, it can.
So, Herbert, was you specifically talking about sex? Were you talking about sex?
Sex?
No.
Listen.
I'm speaking about anything that an individual takes advantage of to the point where they're not looking to reciprocate. That's exploitation. Getting something for nothing, or the appearance of getting something for something. This is why I mentioned
that's not what exploitation is.
Okay. What's the definition?
That's not exploitation.
So
that's robbery. Exploitation means that you're presenting something in a way in which someone is being they're being victimized. They're being used in a certain way where it's not benefiting them. It's benefiting the other person.
So we'll say like sex.
I'm on dictionary.com.
We'll use that as a
exploitation could be used in a lot of different ways. It's not just sexually exploited.
Right.
But I never mentioned sex.
I'm a dictionary.
I just defined it differently without using sex. Exploitation is when you take advantage of someone in a certain way, like you're presenting something in a false way. It's a false presentation. When you're on OnlyFans and somebody paying to look at your picture, that's a fair exchange.
That's not exploitation. That's a fair exchange. No robbery.
They say, "Oh, I want to get in here and watch this person shake their behind."
I specifically said, if an individual tells you that you're going to get something if you give them money, and then they don't give it to you.
Right. I remember you saying that.
Yeah, you did. I heard you say that. I heard you say that.
With what I say. And people want to jump on a generalization without understanding the nuance.
That's robbery.
But we understand.
So the definition is the action or fact of treating someone unfairly in order to benefit from their work.
Yeah,
I'm on dictionary.com. Exploitation is the act of selfishly taking advantage of someone or a group of people in order to profit from them or otherwise benefit one's self.
Somewhere in there.
I don't like when people say, well, what I mean when I say it is this. I like to go to the dictionary because people got their own book about what they mean when they say different words. And so it says, as a verb, Exploit commonly means to selfishly take advantage of someone in order to profit from them and other, just like what, so that is, like I said, exploitation. So somebody that's being exploited in the form of sex, you know, to me, now this is, it's a thin line, but what we talked about before, like you said, if you're on your OnlyFans page, or if you're a stripper and, you know, now, if you're a stripper and you twirling around the pole and dudes is coming in and they making it rain, like that's what that environment is for. That's not exploitation. When they say, oh, we're exploiting women by going and, you know, paying and seeing them. And we speaking from a stripper, I've spent some time as that. I've spent some time as a lot. And so I didn't feel exploited. I wasn't exploited because this is something that I went into this environment. I was a grown woman when I started. So I was 25 when I started stripping. Now, when we're talking about a 16-year-old or a 15-year-old that does not have the wherewithal, don't know shit from Shinola about being anything, those children that are in this world, they can be exploited because they have no clue. They're not even making decisions for themselves. They've, you know, a lot of different things is happening in there. As a 25-year-old woman going in and seeing 16-year-olds, like it was, I got the education of SJ was afoot because I used to be a wallflower. Not no more, but yeah. So that's what that is for me. It's you know, yeah, that's where I'm at with that. Me and Herbert, I just had an issue with Herbert on that one thing. Just that one thing, but Herbert, you already know. If I agree with Herbert, I do not have a problem with saying I agree, even when I don't want to agree. It's sometimes that I just don't want to fucking agree with Herbert, and I gotta give it to him. So if I'm gonna do that, if I'm gonna be truthful on that one, then I gotta be truthful on the other way. There's some stuff that be coming out your hole, dude, that just don't be right, and I just gotta say something.
Anyways, moving along.
But that's I you know I want to get the ball rolling on the topic. So when we hear, you know, about a man committing suicide or female, which, you know, tends to be rare and given certain situations, when we hear about a man committing suicide because his woman won't commit to him or things of that nature, I want there to be the same type of care that there would be for a woman who was killed by her estranged husband. Because when I used to work at the casino, there was an individual who was a law enforcement officer, and I won't really get into the details, who somehow got his service weapon in there. And he was having an affair with the dealer, sat to the dealer's table, and he asked the dealer, you know, would she marry him? She flat out refused him. He pulled his service weapon out there and killed himself right there on the gaming floor. See, those type of things never really see the light of day unless the man is painted as a victim. Well, he shouldn't have been cheating on his wife. He shouldn't have been doing it. Yeah, it's always.
So, but are we attributing his suicide to this woman though, or are we?
Yeah, like you're turning someone who.
I said I want men to be.
You don't gotta get upset, her. We just asking clarifying questions. That's all. I was asking if you were attributing that to her. That's all. I was just asking a clarifying question.
No, that's a decision that he
I know
made.
y'all like them.
But what I'm saying is, men more often than not fall for these illusions more so than women.
Boy.
So let me put a spin on it.
Okay.
So when Fred,
So that's a woman's fault? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not assessing blame. Once again, you're looking.
Blame. Yes, you are.
No, we're supposed to be sympathetic for the guy that killed himself in the same way that we're supposed to be sympathetic
to a woman
towards women who get murdered by some crazy man that was beating her ass for a while. That's what you're saying.
Let me put it to you like this. How often do we hear about men that are raped?
What does that have to do with?
Let's go back to where we were.
What can we do about something we don't hear about, her? What can we do about something we don't hear about?
Why don't you hear about it?
The same reason that you don't hear about a lot of women being raped, because it's a whole lot more women being raped than you hear about. So I'm what can we do about what we don't hear about?
And it's at a disproportionate amount anyway, because rape is not about sex, it's about power. And men are usually in a position to overpower a woman.
So is that same thing said about school teachers who take advantage of their male students?
You keep switching subjects.
No, it is not a subject to switch. This is what
You did switch the subject.
You went
We were
from
talking about somebody killing themselves,
suicide
and you
to
went
domestic violence to suicide, domestic violence. Then you went to let's see, where was we at? Oh, rape of males to rape of females. Now you're talking about the sexual molestation of teenagers. You're switching subjects. That's 5
no.
different subjects.
You brought up men in positions of power. If a female is a teacher, is she not in the position of power?
No, she said that generally, just like you started off your statement
bring it.
generally,
It's different.
you started
It's
her
different
statement off
examples.
with
Yeah, using
generally,
different
men are
examples.
more in a position of power to use rape
I
because
said
rape
that rape
is about
is not
power.
about sex. It's about power. It's the physical ability to overpower a female physically and take her
And take what he wants.
her sex. Now, when you're talking about a teacher and a youth, then now you're talking about another type of victimization.
And it is
you switch subjects 2 different times.
So now we were back at the suicide. What she originally asked you was, were you saying, and we were trying to clarify, were you saying that we should have the same affinity or the same sympathy for a man who kills himself because of whatever reason, because a woman didn't commit to him? Are you saying that we should have the same sympathy for him than that we have for a woman who's killed by a man who's been abusing her? That was the question that she asked, and you answered it by asking the question.
I said no.
No, you didn't.
You didn't say no.
Like Prego, it's been there.
You didn't. We didn't hear you say no. You switched subjects.
You know why? Because you refuse to listen sometimes.
That's not why we didn't hear you. You didn't say it.
We were trying to clarify, and you switched subjects instead.
Yeah, I think that's the issue. Whatever, if we're going to stick to one example, then we need to have that example. It went to 2 different avenues.
That was the example we stuck to. Yeah,
we kept trying to get them to go back there.
So like, when y'all think. When you think about exploitation, and we was talking about the fans only thing, I think it becomes exploitation for a man when he's reaching out to these women and she decides to expose him or put information out there. And now, which was a private dealing between them, she exploits him for maybe more money. Like, listen, if you don't say this or you don't give me this, then I'm putting it out there.
Now you're in the hypothetical zone.
That's blackmail.
Now you're in hypothetical zone. And that's not even new either.
And none of this stuff is new.
None of this stuff is new.
Hold on. If you're going to trust somebody on OnlyFans, if you're going to trust somebody to be on OnlyFans and you're going to pay them and they want more money, then that is like a moral value if you're paying me for my feet.
OnlyFans.
Like,
I mean, look, I might be on OnlyFans with my feet. I might be on OnlyFans with my pretty feet, sticking them in some whipped cream or whatever.
And you're
paying me.
The hell with your feet.
Don't the hell with my feet. No. Maybe my feet make me money.
Pay a top dollar about some feet, Dave. Please understand.
I don't know about that. Yeah, they could be. They could be.
Know about that, Dave. You ain't supposed to know about that, Dave. Because they're paying us $5 for feet. If somebody was paying you $5 for feet, you know about that. No, listen.
But my point is, if me and you are in that business relationship and you don't want people to know, then you need to like make a written contract or something. Like, do not disclose, because if I want to disclose what I'm doing with you, that's me and my moral value. And that's like a unsaid trust thing that me and you have in business.
Talk about their relationships. How many women is talking about their relationships to the sister, to the everybody. Everybody got to have somebody to tell the shit that goes down to. Like when some real crazy shit goes down with me, I got to call somebody.
So that doesn't mean men don't get exploited. It doesn't mean men don't get exploited.
Like, you know,
if I'm sending you some,
of course men can be exploited, Dave. Anybody can be exploited.
Right. That's male or female.
Anyone can be exploited.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Herb was essentially saying that.
And sometimes it's up to, you know, a lot of victims claim that they've been exploited, but have you really? Or did you just get caught up in the game you was trying to play? And that's for men and women. Some men claim to be exploited, women claim to be exploited, and 8 times out of 10, because I'll be nice, it's just because you got the shit end of the stick that you was trying to deal.
Well, it all goes back to KYP, know your personnel. You don't know somebody, then don't put yourself in these damn situations. That's the bottom line.
That's why it's talk, communicate.
I agree.
Woo, that was a good stretch of fireworks.
About 30-minute round. That was longer than Tyson and Joe.
Hey, don't talk about that.
High five, y'all.
No, that was a cute exhibition.
High five, y'all. High five.
It was a nice exhibition. I appreciate Mike for what he did for Roy. Like I appreciate it.
We'll have no choice to appreciate a 54 and a 51-year-old got into ring and had 8 rounds.
Everybody was talking about, oh, he gonna knock him out. I said, we talking about a 54 and a 51-year-old. They got hip replacements and shit. Ain't nobody getting knocked down. Like,
he was never gonna knock out Roy because Roy's a boxer.
That wasn't gonna happen. That's a respect thing.
It was in the contract. There were rules preceding
but
it.
Listen, did you hear?
No
I listened to the interview.
No blood.
I listened to the interview, and so that's what let me know it was an exhibition. It was something that was on Roy Jones's bucket list. So basically, Mike Tyson came out to do this favor because you know it was on Roy Jones Jr.'s bucket list to fight Mike Tyson. And I listened to that interview, and he was like, you know, I don't like to draw, but I'm gonna talk. He added, but I'm gonna talk to my family and see what they say, nigga. That he was racking them ribs up is what was happening. And he said, no matter where he hit, in my first opinion, in the arm, in the chest, in the leg, it all hurt.
It was hurt.
Like he took it, and I appreciate that. That's what let me know it was an exhibition. That this
was definitely hurting.
That Mike was doing for him because Mike acknowledged when he said, and you took it. You took every punch that I threw at you, and I respect you for that. That's how I knew that Mike was doing something.
But Mike better not get it twisted and think he can fight a regular fight. He better not get it twisted and think he can fight Deontay Wilder or one of them young dudes because he's going to get stretched out. He's going to get stretched out.
Well, look.
Until he hit him.
Talking about some ribs, I never got my collard greens and ham hocks.
Shots fired.
Good. That's why we got here.
Hold on. I didn't cook.
Be all up and shit.
I didn't even cook. I got you. I didn't cook. All I did was did a turkey. My mom actually my mom did cabbage and she did greens.
I just want like 4 ounces.
I got you.
Somebody better make Anita some ham hocks and some greens.
I know. Like we can all have like a little.
Don't be surprised. You might get them.
You know, like Secret Santa thing at my house in my living room. Oh.
Girl, that's too long. You better go ahead.
Bring me some.
You're gonna have some on Sunday. You talking about a Secret Santa? That's
my birthday is on Wednesday. I might treat myself to some. So I might make
my birthday is Thursday.
Really,
my birthday in advance.
Happy birthday!
Okay, my grandbabies is Thursday too. Well, thank you. Happy birthday to you as well.
Happy birthday!
Terry's in the house.
Her, you got anything else you want to talk about?
I do not.
Objectification. I'm so mad at you about that.
They're in the roasting mood, whatever tonight. They came to roast.
I ain't in no roasting mood. I'm happy.
Right.
I done got my first. Order on my
Hold up. This is a question to Srea. What happened with that date the other week? I need to know about that.
What did I say? What did I last tell y'all? I'll tell you exactly what happened. What I tell
we didn't hear anything. You were supposed to wear a hat and you had your hair all slicked up and laid down and you said you couldn't wear a hat because you had a date. I want to know what happened with this date.
We fucked and it was great.
Wow. Okay.
See, I knew what I was going to do. Listen, I needed a break because you know how I work. Dave knows how I work. Listen, Dave didn't tell you last week. I had mixed up the days, and I was working around the clock because I have something really, really big that I'm working on, and I actually got my first order on it today, so I'm excited. But I was working, and it was, like 8. It was like 9 at night, and I came on because Dave had sent me the link early. I hit the link, and I'm sitting. Ain't nobody in the studio. I'm like, well, did I miss it? Like, I didn't work through it. Like, look, I'm a whole day early. I done lost days. I done lost all that. I'm just knowing he asked me to be there. I don't want to be late. I'm like, whoa, okay. I completely lost track of the days. Staying up until 4 a.m, working and all that stuff. So yeah, I needed a break. I needed a very much needed break. And so I had that date. We went out, we went to dinner, and it was nice. It was great. I didn't really give a damn about the dinner. I already knew what I was there for, and we had already talked about it. So it's not like, I was accosting him with my, sexual prowess and shit. He knew what we was going to do.
Did you exploit him for sex?
But there's a certain way that Srea must feel if she's going to be sharing pussy with somebody. And so he was doing what he needed to do to make Srea feel like she needed to feel so that we could go ahead and get busy with this. Because you do remember, I told you, mofos can talk themselves right out of it. I could be ready. And if you saying the wrong thing, Jack, I need you to get on this program. That's what I need. So he was on the program. He was on the program, and it was wonderful. And then I was rejuvenated and all of that. And I was able to go back and work. And
all right now.
Amen.
Listen, we know we passed our time. We got to do this again. We got to do this again. I like when there's more people here. I like the heat up.
Next time I want to talk about, because I came in late.
Aquarius is on deck, Amy. She know.
Anita, what'd you say? You came in late.
Because I came in late, and I was trying to get in, and Dave was ignoring me. But anyway, I came in when Herb was talking about objectification, and you guys were talking about how to dress. Now I'm mad I missed that conversation. I'm mad I missed that conversation. So we don't have time tonight, but we can.
All right, so we are gonna have a closing. We are gonna have a closing remark. You can drop your remark regarding that. Who wants to close out with their closing remark on this subject matter?
Oh,
I think I'm gonna dress how I want to dress because it makes me feel sexy.
Okay.
I
Growth and
don't think a man should tell me how to dress, but publicly I might be conservative. Privately, it might be a different story.
All right, girl, you go.
Right.
You go, girl, that old shit.
Your house with a pole and shit too. Like, what you got, girl?
I mean,
you about to get you some collard greens if you play this right. You play this right. You do cook a collard green.
I'm an urban dictionary in the street. Okay. I'm an Oxford dictionary in the streets. I'm the urban dictionary in the streets.
Wow.
I'm done. Get her some collard greens. That's what's happening. Somebody gonna be in your DM talking about, girl, I cook you some collard greens. They gonna be like,
I'll cook you some collard greens and I'll give you some ham hog. I got some ham hog for you.
Right. I got your ham hog, boo. I got your ham. Someday gonna be in your DM, right? Oh goodness!
Right.
As long as they like pretty feet, and they're gonna take me for a pedicure.
Yeah, you done told them you the dictionary, girl. You done told them.
All right, Saveda, you got anything you want to say to close it out?
Like, if you can't handle the sass, you can't handle the ass, right?
Wow. Yeah. You've been hanging out with Srea too long.
Like, you guys don't know.
Never heard me say nothing like that.
Well, I said it.
Okay.
Oh, goodness.
So,
I'm very cultured.
Okay. Saveda, your closing remarks.
My closing remarks is, for myself, I dress, for myself, but also once again, I'm gonna dress also for my man as well. So, we're gonna keep it funky. That's just me.
Yeah, put some effort into it.
No, that's
I
right.
ain't got to put no effort because when I put my body into it, that's all it's.
That's right.
Yeah, I talk so reckless.
I'm just keeping it real.
I know that's right.
Hey,
Swanda.
Well.
You think
You don't even know what to say.
Cricket.
Okay, this, I guess, yeah, I can't get it. I'm still stuck on victimization and exploitation.
She said she don't want to let that go.
It's like, do I want to say something? No, I'm gonna let it go, and then I'll take it, and I'm like, no, I'm good, because it's birthday week. I gotta keep it cool.
I know that's right.
Okay. You can always come back after your birthday and say, you know what? God damn it, I'm gonna say it now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Soraya.
Well, I always say, fair exchange is no robbery. So stop being a bunch of fucking
I said
thieves.
that too.
I feel like, if you spend more time checking yourself, I'm a big stickler on personal responsibility and accountability. We can joke and we can talk about, what men do, what women do, all of this stuff. But for me, and I'm just talking about this girl, I'm a stickler for personal accountability and responsibility because I am the only person that I can control. I could tell you what I like and what I don't like, but when it comes down to making me happy, that's my job. So I spend more time checking myself and my reactions to things than I do trying to check somebody else. And life just gets a whole lot better that way. As far as the dressing thing, I don't even feel like I got to be a conversation. I'm a grown ass woman. I'm going to put on what I want to put on. I'm going to be age appropriate. I'm going to, you know what I'm saying? There's, of course, I wish that I could walk down the street on a hot day with my shirt off, just like guys do, but I can't. And I know that I can't. When it comes to how, I can, but it is be a story. I'm gonna have a story or two to tell. So, it's one of those things you cannot always go into what you should be able to do. We should be able to do a lot of things, but what we can do a lot of things, but it's like, should you though? I could go slap somebody, but should I? You know what I'm saying? Like it's you have to govern yourself. And so for me, like I said, it's check yourself more than you check anybody else. And then life is gonna open up for you. And while you don't want me to tell you what you sound like sometime, boo-boo. Okay? So there that is though.
I heard.
Growth and understanding occurs in the gray area. We will see you next time. Godspeed.
All right, yeah. Me, there's so much going on, so many opinions, so many interpretations. But the key thing is we have to listen and hear each other out, because all it takes is, which I say, like one little word or something can throw things off, and it leads to another avenue. But this is why these conversations have to be had, because sometimes people just don't think like other people think, and there's so many meanings to different words that you have to break down each thing to find out what somebody is talking about. And that's usually what happens when you have arguments in relationships. It's like little things that can kind of, one word, one gesture can kind of throw everything off. So, hey, let's just keep having these conversations, keep moving. And if y'all have any talking points that y'all want to have for next week, drop them, send them to my inbox or Herb inbox. We'll put them on there and we'll talk about it, because all of this stuff is day-to-day issues and conversations that need to be had. With that said, we out. I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday, and I'm sure y'all getting ready for, I'm not going to bring it up, the Christmas spirit and all that stuff, because I ain't into all of that hype, but I just hope everybody just joyous, just joyous to be living, pushing forward, because 2021 is near, and we gotta do something right, because this 2020 was horrible. Not in all aspects, but for a lot, it was a difficult year, a challenging year.
Indeed.
So with that said, we out. Thanks everybody who came in the panel. Thanks everybody who chimed in on the chat. And stay tuned for the watch parties and stay tuned for my weekly posts. And hey, let's continue to build and grow. All right, good people. Well, and happy birthday, Swan, to live it up. Enjoy. Don't do nothing we wouldn't do.
I'm gonna do everything you wouldn't do.
Everything, girl. Do all of it.
She said she's gonna do it twice.
Overshot. All right. Do all of it.
And when you come back on, we gonna ask, what did you do?
Yes, thank you.
Don't be surprised if her answer's the same as mine.
We know. Y'all some wild cowgirls. All right, good people. We out.
To do that for my birthday.
Say that again.
Girl, make that happen. Girl, you got the power. Girl, make that happen. You got the power. You inbox me, girl. You got the power. You can make that happen. You can make that happen.
All right.
All right, everybody.
Y'all be good and be safe.
Good night.